Let's face the facts. You've explored countless methods to find relief, right? You've delved into books, watched countless videos, and even tried those meditations everyone suggests. Yet, you find yourself returning to the same place, stuck, perplexed, and irritated. So, what's the real issue? It's not that you're unable to heal. The truth is simpler, yet more unsettling. You're not healing because you're repeating one action, an action most people don't even realize they're doing. And if you don't stop this habit soon, you'll remain stuck exactly where you are, constantly re-experiencing the same pains, struggles, and patterns. Now, don't get defensive. Stay with you and me, because in this video, we're going to uncover exactly why your healing attempts keep failing. We're going to identify this subtle yet destructive habit that's blocking your progress. By the end of this video, not only will you understand what's keeping you stuck, but you'll have a clear, practical way to finally step out of this endless cycle and truly start healing. If you're serious about moving forward, it's time to confront what's really holding you back. Trust me, the insight you're about to receive is the one you've been waiting for. Now, let's examine what's really happening beneath the surface. Imagine you're walking down a street, minding your own business, and suddenly, out of nowhere, you stub your toe hard. For a moment, all you can feel is that intense, throbbing pain. It's overwhelming. Your immediate reaction, probably anger, frustration, perhaps even embarrassment if someone saw you. But notice something. The initial physical pain, the actual sensation itself, quickly fades away. It's uncomfortable, yes, but short-lived. Yet the anger, embarrassment, and frustration linger long after your toe stops hurting. Why? Because you keep replaying it in your mind. You keep reliving the embarrassment, the frustration. You keep focusing on the pain that's already gone. And here's the twist. This simple example isn't just about a stubbed toe. It's about how your mind interacts with emotional pain and trauma. Long after the initial sting of the experience has faded, your mind continues replaying that painful event, embedding it deeper and deeper into your identity. It's like rewatching the same painful movie over and over again, expecting a different ending. But the ending never changes, does it? This is the subtle habit I was referring to. The relentless replaying, reliving, and recycling of old emotional wounds, experiences, and traumas without realizing it. You keep yourself trapped in a feedback loop of pain by constantly revisiting the past. And the worst part is, each replay amplifies the pain, making it harder and harder to move forward. Let me tell you a story that illustrates this perfectly. A friend of mine, let's call him James, went through a painful breakup years ago. At first, he did everything you'd expect to heal. He read self-help books, watched motivational talks, even went on a solo vacation to find himself. And yet, every few weeks, like clockwork, he'd call me late at night talking about the breakup, rehashing old arguments and replaying every hurtful word she'd said to him. At first, I listened patiently, but over time, I began to notice something. James wasn't healing. Instead, he was reinforcing the pain. He was revisiting his wounds again and again, each time making them deeper. One evening, during another long, draining conversation, I gently interrupted him and asked, "James, why do you keep pulling off the bandage? The wound won't heal if you keep reopening it." He paused for a moment and then something clicked. He realized that he was choosing, maybe unconsciously, to stay trapped in his pain. He wasn't allowing himself to move forward because he kept giving life to the memories he desperately wanted to forget. Now, you might recognize something similar happening in your own life. You might find yourself frequently recalling painful memories, replaying arguments, mistakes, or moments of embarrassment. Maybe you relive times you felt betrayed, rejected, or unloved. Without realizing it, You're reinforcing an identity built around your pain and suffering. And this identity, as familiar and strangely comforting as it may seem, is precisely what's holding you back. You see, the mind loves familiarity. Even if that familiarity is painful, it's predictable. It's safe. The unknown, true healing, genuine. Change feels frightening because it threatens to disrupt the comfort of familiarity. This paradox is exactly why so many people spend years stuck in the same emotional loops. It's easier to stay wounded than to face the uncertainty of becoming someone healed, someone new. But now understanding this, the next question becomes, how exactly do you break out of this pattern? How do you genuinely move forward and heal when your mind insists on pulling you back into the past? Stay with me here because the answer to this question is simpler and more powerful than you might think. Breaking out of this loop requires a subtle shift. One so simple yet so profound that most people overlook it completely. It starts by gently shifting your attention away from the stories your mind continually tells you. Away from the repetitive narratives that keep you stuck in the past and instead bringing it fully into what's actually happening right now, this very moment. Here's something important you need to understand. Your mind thrives on drama and complexity. It wants to analyze, dissect, and solve every past hurt, every old argument, and every painful memory. It tricks you into believing that by replaying these old stories, you'll somehow find closure or a hidden answer or some magical insight that'll fix everything. But the reality is, endlessly dissecting the past only creates more confusion, pain, and frustration. Think about it. How many times have you found yourself replaying a painful conversation or event, convinced you'll eventually figure it out, only to end up feeling worse than before? How often have you attempted to find answers by looking backward instead of forward, only to end up even more stuck? Imagine your life as a beautiful movie. The problem is, instead of moving forward through the storyline, you've hit the rewind button and are stuck replaying the same scene over and over. You've paused your life's momentum, revisiting that one painful moment so frequently that you've almost convinced yourself it's the entirety of your existence. And because your attention keeps looping back to that moment, you never allow yourself to experience what comes next. The possibility of healing, joy, growth, and discovery. But what happens if instead of rewinding your life's movie, you choose to hit play? What if you allowed yourself to move forward to explore the unfolding scenes ahead? Scenes filled with new people, opportunities, and experiences. What if your attention shifted from replaying your past to curiously exploring your present and future? Let me share a brief story to illustrate exactly how powerful this shift can be. I once spoke with a woman named Clara who was incredibly successful by every external measure. Great job, loving family, good friends. Yet Clara was deeply unhappy, haunted by past failures and anxieties. She couldn't understand why. Despite everything she'd achieved, she still felt empty and stuck. One day, Clara confided that she spent nearly every waking hour in her mind replaying past mistakes, moments when she failed, arguments with family members, opportunities she'd missed. Her life had become a constant internal debate about her worth, her decisions, and her mistakes. She was so consumed by the past that she was completely missing out on the life happening right in front of her. I suggested something deceptively simple. For one day, just one day, she was to deliberately interrupt her mental replays every time she noticed them. Not harshly, not judgmentally, just a gentle nudge, reminding herself to return to the present moment. Instead of replaying old arguments, she would fully engage in the conversation she was having right now. Instead of thinking about past mistakes, she'd fully focus on the task at hand, whether it was cooking dinner, answering emails, or enjoying a simple walk outside. Clara agreed skeptically, thinking something so basic couldn't possibly change much. But the next day, she called me astonished. For the first time in years, she said she had felt genuinely alive. Not because anything significant had changed externally, but because internally, she had stopped replaying the past and finally allowed herself to live in the present. Her life was the same, but her experience of it had profoundly changed. Now, consider this carefully in your own life. How much more energy, clarity, and joy could you have if you simply stopped rewinding your life's movie and allowed yourself to press play instead? How different would your life look if you decided right now that you are done reliving old pain and are ready, truly ready to step into your present and future? It's crucial to realize this doesn't mean ignoring or suppressing your emotions. Rather, it means acknowledging them, accepting their presence, but refusing to feed them with endless replays and mental movies. It's about gently redirecting your attention again and again, back to the only place where healing can actually occur. Right here, right now. The moment you choose presence over replay, you open yourself up to genuine healing. The past, no longer, dictates who you are or who you can become. Instead, your identity becomes something flexible, open, and vibrant, shaped by your present actions and intentions rather than your past mistakes or pains. But how exactly can you start doing this? How can you practically shift your awareness in everyday life to break out of your mental loops? Stick with me, because what I'm about to show you might just change everything. Let's dive deeper, because this shift from replaying the past to living in the present isn't just about mindset. It's a powerful, practical skill you can cultivate right now. The first step is realizing that every time your mind drifts into an old narrative or painful memory, you have the ability to catch it. You have the capacity, even in those tiny, fleeting moments, to gently bring yourself back to reality. Now, here's something truly eye-opening about human psychology. Your brain doesn't actually distinguish much between reality and imagination. Every time you replay that painful memory, your brain experiences it almost as if it's happening again, triggering the same emotional response, the same anxiety, the same stress. So, each replay isn't just remembering, it's re-experiencing. And the more you re-experience pain, the deeper it embeds itself into your nervous system, becoming a subconscious habit. Eventually, this habitual mental loop becomes almost automatic, triggered by the smallest reminders or stressors. But here's the good news, and this is incredibly empowering. If you trained your mind to replay negative experiences habitually, then you absolutely can retrain it. You can cultivate a new habit, a new mental routine that serves you instead of draining you. Let's make this practical. Think about the last time you felt emotionally triggered. Maybe it was a conflict at work, a misunderstanding with a loved one, or just a random memory surfacing when you least expected it. What did you do immediately after? Most likely, you dove into mental analysis. Why did this happen? Why did they say that? Why didn't I respond differently? And the cycle started again. Instead, try this next time. Pause. Literally pause for just 5 seconds and consciously say to yourself, "This thought isn't happening now. It's a memory. Right now, I'm safe. Right now, I'm here." This simple statement of grounding brings your attention out of your past and into the present. And it's profoundly effective. Let me share a brief example. A while ago, a subscriber named Michael reached out. He was struggling profoundly with anxiety linked to a failed business venture. Every day, he woke up with an overwhelming sense of dread. His mind immediately began replaying mistakes, regrets, and hypothetical scenarios. He felt trapped in an endless loop of anxiety. I gave Michael a simple exercise. Each morning, when his anxiety started to surface, instead of immediately diving into analysis and mental replays, he would first step outside, feel his feet touching the ground and consciously remind himself right now in this exact moment. Nothing bad is happening. I'm just standing here. He admitted it felt awkward at first, almost too basic, but something remarkable happened. Slowly, day by day, Michael found his anxiety lessening. Why? Because he broke the loop. Instead of immediately reinforcing his anxiety by replaying past mistakes, he anchored himself firmly in the present moment. Over time, he created a new habit, a new mental pattern, one of grounding and calmness rather than anxiety and chaos. And here's the fascinating thing. Your brain, with all its complexities, actually craves simplicity. It craves direct, clear instructions. By repeatedly interrupting your mental loops and consciously choosing the present moment, you give your brain clear directions. Over time, it stops defaulting to anxiety, regret, and pain, and instead defaults to calmness, clarity, and presence. Another practical tool: daily journaling. Not to overanalyze your life, but to simply capture thoughts and emotions in their simplest form, without judgment. By writing down what you feel, you externalize your emotions and gain perspective. It stops being a cycle in your head and becomes something you can objectively observe and release. After all, you're not here to solve your emotions. You're here to feel them, understand their temporary nature, and let them pass. This brings up another essential realization. Your emotions are temporary visitors. They come, they stay briefly, and then they go. They're not permanent residents unless you give them permanent housing in your mind by endlessly replaying them. So ask yourself honestly, what emotions have you unintentionally given permanent residency to in your mental space? How much longer are you willing to allow them to occupy valuable space in your mind, your heart, and your life? Because here's the profound truth. You can heal. Not just partially, not just temporarily, but deeply and genuinely. Your past doesn't have to define you. Your pain doesn't have to trap you. And most importantly, your awareness doesn't have to hurt you. Instead, your awareness can set you free. But only if you choose actively and intentionally to shift your awareness away from endless replays of past pain and towards the life that's unfolding right now in front of you. Now imagine clearly for a moment. Imagine yourself truly free from this exhausting loop. Imagine waking up and not feeling instantly burdened by yesterday's pain. Imagine genuinely looking forward to what's next rather than fearing repetition of past mistakes. Can you feel that possibility? Keep it close, because now we're about to explore exactly how you can begin living that reality starting today. So here's what I want you to do right now. Go to the comments and type one simple word: release. Because that's exactly what this is about. Letting go, stepping forward, and freeing yourself from old loops. And hey, if this resonated with you, consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.